Here on Progressive Talk Daily, I occasionally bring up just terrible trade agreements and how they have destroyed millions of jobs, the middle class, etc., etc. Well, this right here is the godfather of all the disastrous trade agreements made in this country. It's called the Trans-Pacific Partnership, otherwise known as the TPP. And it will be completely cataclysmic to not only our economy, but other economies around the world, and it will finish the job of destroying the American dream. However, this isn't just NAFTA 2.0. This is NAFTA with every other policy corporations crave. People, let's delve into it. Now, the TPP involves 12 countries, including the U.S., who have already signed on board, and some other Pacific Rim powers could possibly sign on as well. The list of countries already includes places like Australia, Japan, and even Mexico. The actual drafts and text of the TPP has been closed off from the public, and the only way people like me are receiving this information are through leaks. And even our own Congress members are supposed elected officials who are supposed to represent us. They are closed off from all the talks. Only the White House, officials from the 11 other countries involved in this deal, and 600 U.S. trade advisors have full access to the TPP. And those trade advisors we talked about are the who's who of the world's worst corporations, banks, and pharmacy giants. And anybody with half a brain can figure out why those companies are at the negotiating table, and that is to create a deal that lets them work their evil magic. Now let's get into the meat of this deal. The TPP has 29 chapters in all. However, despite the billing as another free trade agreement, only 5 of the chapters actually deal with trade. The 24 other chapters are the corporate gold, and they allow companies across the globe to play the people of this country and even in the countries involved. What the TPP works to do is a dagger in the heart of the last things protecting regular people in this country. First, the TPP is going to offshore millions of Americans' jobs. Yeah, huge surprise. Because it loosens a bunch of rules and regulations and fines for American companies, relocating jobs and money outside the U.S. And it actually works to reward companies with extra opportunities for offshoring American jobs and investing money elsewhere. So bye-bye American jobs, because companies can now be rewarded for shipping your community's jobs outside the country, since you actually want a wage that lets you eat and survive. The TPP then puts in a bunch of new rules that limits the freedom of the internet and lets big internet providers like AT&T and Comcast have total rule over the web. The TPP does this by expanding a bunch of copyright rules and letting providers kick you off the internet for small violations. This means if you download music off the web for free 3 times or more, AT&T and Comcast have the right to kick you off the internet. Or if you use an image of Google Images without permission, again 3 times or more, you are in serious trouble. It limits the ability of the common internet user and the small guy innovators in a garage somewhere to be able to be free on the internet and innovate, which is what has pushed us forward throughout the digital age. Also, the TPP would allow drug companies to, quote, new rights and powers to increase medicine prices and limit consumers' access to cheaper generic drugs, and create new rules that could undermine government efforts to contain rising medicine prices in developed countries like the USA. So sorry for those who rely on medications to live a comfortable life. Looks like the prices will be jacked up for you. Then, the TPP takes aim at the quality of our food. Quote, the Trans-Pacific Partnership would require us to allow food imports if the exporting country claims their safety regimen is equivalent to ours, even if we know it violates the key principles of our food safety laws. So even if we know their food is most likely crap compared to ours, we can still allow their foods in our country simply because they say, it's alright, it's all good, we got it. I think I know now why they don't want us to know about this thing, don't you? And last but certainly not least on this list of horrible policies in this deal, quote, the TPP creates this investor-state system. This system elevates individual corporations and investors to equal standing with each TPP signatory country's government, and above all, us citizens. Imagine that. Companies are now governments. This is what the world has come to, people. Welcome. And in this trade deal, it allows these corporations who are now governments to order the real governments to give them unlimited amounts of taxpayer money, because the government's policies might hurt their future expectations for their company, according to them. So we think we're going to be at point B in like 5 years from now, but your law saying 7-year-old kids can't work might kind of, sort of, maybe, we don't really know, hurt that. So we're going to need $5 billion. Oops. This is what happens when a government is basically run by corporations. I mean, these companies are at the desk creating the trade policies. And it's the same thing for our healthcare system, for our educational system, for our transportation system, for our energy system, across the board. It's now a government by, of, and for corporations. And this is the latest product. The TPP, as you all can see, is a terrible, terrible trade policy. And it has taken the true heroes in this country to allow me to report this atrocity of a trade policy to you all. And unfortunately, it will undeniably be put into effect, the TPP, because the deal will most likely be fast-tracked through Congress, so there will still be limited information on the deal for the public, and limited debates and negotiations in Congress over this deal. I implore you all to really fight to destroy this deal and protect our internet, our food, our jobs, our laws, our money. I mean, the list of things goes on and on this deal fights against. The link to leading organizations fighting this deal are in the description below. Click on them and join the fight. Thank you all for listening to Progressive Talk Daily. Remember to hit the subscribe button, spam the like button, and visit the comment section down under. We're taking PTD far, and I want you all to have a fantastic day.